What's up, everybody? Today I will be giving you one of the top ways to improve 10 times faster in Fortnite. To start, I want everybody to know that you can do this at any skill level, and as long as you do this thoroughly, you will see results fast. And this tip is VOD review. And for anyone that doesn't know what this is, VOD review is watching your gameplay back to see what mistakes you make during your games. And it's not something that you can do only for fighting. You can VOD review your rotates, your late game decisions, or whatever else you may feel you struggle with. Today, I will be showing you some examples of VOD review for fighting specifically though. And starting off, I have this fight right here. Now, I'll let it play all the way out before I go over some mistakes that I made, so here you go. Now let's get into it, and the first mistake I made in this fight was not instantly phasing a cone in this box. Instead, as you can see, I was just trying to spray my way in, and that kind of threw things off for the rest of this fight for me. And after this, we end up in a back and forth of taking the wall, and basically I lose a lot of health in a 50-50, and on top of that, I miss my shots. So now I'm one shot and I'm on defense. And you can see that I have plenty of mats and heals to reset this fight, but instead I just wait for him to apply more pressure and go for some counter damage. But unfortunately, I was too low to go for that play, so even though I hit the shot and hit hard, it still only took one bullet to get me down. Now I'll let this next fight play out once again, and in this situation I was being third party and I lost a good amount of health. But just like in the last fight, I had plenty of materials and health to make space and get my big pot off, but instead I go for counter damage once again to make them back off. And right here, it wasn't such a bad idea, but I made a wide edit and he was able to hit me for over 100. Just to explain something real quick, VOD review is good to look for specific mistakes you make as well as common mistakes. So even though these two fights played out differently, you can see that a common mistake I made is not prioritizing healing when I probably should have. So from now on, I know that in future fights, if I'm at a disadvantage on health, but I have good heals and good mats, I need to focus more on healing and less on counter damage. But I also still need to read the situation to make the best decision. Moving on though. This fight was more unfortunate than anything I feel like, but there still were some errors on my end. In this situation where I'm standing on top of someone's box, I just sit with my shotgun out because most people are gonna open up and you can get a free shot. And this situation was no different. I'm waiting for him to open up and I start reloading, which makes people open, and I do the fake pickaxe swing, which also makes people open. And once he didn't go for either one of those, I actually tried to take the floor instead of being more patient. And unfortunately, as soon as I do that, he opens up and he's able to hit a big shot. And that ultimately was the start of the end of that fight. But real quick though, doesn't this look like I got shot through the ramp and the floor? Kinda weird, but anyways, here's some examples of how things normally go in this scenario. Now, you probably understand the basics of VOD reviewing fights, so I want you to spot some mistakes I made in this fight. Rewind this or pause or do whatever you need to do to think about it and comment down below what you came up with. Getting into it, I started with a nice health advantage, so I push up and the first thing that went wrong was me messing up my edits. Then right after that, I was caught swinging my pickaxe twice in a row, causing me to get pre-fired. Third, I failed to take this wall with my gun, slowing down my momentum. Fourth, as you can see right here, he's ready to pre-fire me again as I swing to take this wall. Then after taking some damage, I do take the wall and I do an edit reset, and instead of doing that again, I made a wide edit and lose the fight. And on top of that, once again, I had all the mats and heals I needed to reset, and I just didn't. So in less than 20 seconds, I made 6 mistakes in this fight, which is pretty bad. But I want to know, how many of those did you spot, or did you spot one that I missed? But either way, the point of doing this is to fix those mistakes so they won't happen again. Now moving on to the final fight of this video, here I was playing scrims, which is the best practice you can get for competitive, and your game sense and decision making are a key part of performing well here. With that being said, as you can see, I'm already pretty set for this game, but I see an opponent and I decide I want to take that fight. And during this initial encounter, I end up cracking his shield and he takes off. And so instead of just stopping right there, I chase him basically to an unknown area. But after chasing him for so long, somebody decides to third party and they're able to catch me off guard and get me out. So like I said, game sense and decision making are a key part of performing well. And in this fight, I lost mainly due to being over aggressive, which led to me being caught off guard and going down to a completely different opponent than who I was supposed to be fighting. If you want to see me VOD review some more of my scrims, or if you want me to review some of your gameplay, leave a comment below and I'll do so. Moving on to the next step of VOD reviewing, you need to list out the errors that you made. And so from these 5 clips, I have not making space and healing, not phasing builds, making wide edits, lack of patience, being over aggressive and double swinging, missing edits, and not resetting the fight. So that's 7 mistakes I've made throughout these 5 fights. And now that that's done, the last part of VOD review is to actively and intentionally work on the mistakes that you make. And everyone is going to have a somewhat different set of things that they need to work on. So be sure to do this and really work on the things that you specifically need to work on. For some people, it might be aim. For others, it might be editing. But if you have a problem tracking and staying aware of your opponent, click this video on the left. And if you want to learn how to actually build in Fortnite, click this video on the right. Thanks for watching. See ya.